This car is worth less than a decent night out, but somehow we thought that buying it and driving across the south of England was a good idea.
Will this be, like usual, the most stupid idea we've ever had? Or is it something that is going to help us live our dream?
On paper, this is one of the most reliable little engines in the modern era, but Citroën doesn't exactly scream reliability.
And what makes it amusing is that we plan to travel the world, right? And this is our first start. We decided to start with this little car or this little headache. I don't know which is it.
However, this is the perfect candidate to travel round in a cost-effective way. It should also be reliable, but the problem is we only paid £350 for this car. It must have been the cheapest car around.
In order to start our travels, this car needs to be reliable. So what needs doing in order to make it reliable and safe?
Upon checking the oil with the dipstick, it looks like there's less than a litre of oil in this car, so we definitely need to get this topped up. The door handle will definitely need gluing back on. We do have the door handle, thankfully. We just need to super glue this on.
And the steering wheel is missing a piece.
It's also missing the trim on the rev counter.
It's great to see the windscreen wiper working, but it's not really clear in the whole windscreen. The windscreen washer fluid seems to be working as well, since we're flowing really well.
The door speaker trim will also need gluing on. It does clip on, but will need gluing.
An oil filter to change.
We're definitely going to need new hubcaps to smarten this car up. We're also going to need 2 rear wheel bearings. While doing the rear bearings, we might as well change the rear brakes. So, we bought it, and yeah, like you said, the clutch is slipping. I'm hoping it just needs an adjustment. However, the rear wheel bearings are definitely gone.
Look at how the steering is shaking.
Yeah.
It's really, really bad. It feels so scary. I feel scared to be here right now. I mean, the guy said he drives the car, which is fair enough. Sebastian said he drives the car. I mean, it looks nice, but it is pretty scary to be driving right now.
I think it definitely needs some wheel bearings done before we go anywhere in it. I'm going to adjust the clutch and hope that it sorts it. If not, we'll have to do a clutch as well. Unfortunately, my tools are in the van, so I might have to buy a socket set at least and a trolley jack.
Cooking soda, babe.
And, you know, what do you expect for 350 quid, right?
Can you guys hear the noise in the back?
Of course I can hear it. Sebastian says he trusts it.
So yeah, hopefully it will take us to where we need to go.
I've bought all this stuff to fit. Right, let's get to work fixing this car. We borrowed a small jack from the pet owners where we're staying at the moment, and it was just big enough to lift this little car up.
We already had a wheel wrench with the car to take the wheels off, so Ryan got started with this in order to do the rear brakes and the wheel bearings.
Making sure we have 2 points of contact, the jack and the bricks for extra safety. I checked what was needed to get the bearings out. This was a 12mm socket with 4 bolts to undo. To say it was a struggle to get this bearing out would be a massive understatement. We had to get out a breaker. I'm not kidding you. I drilled from the back with a breaker to get this out. All the bolts were off and it still would not come off. The bolts were all rusted on, but with a bit of WD-40 soon came off. I removed the brake lines from the back of the wheel bearing in order to not break them. I then decided to take the brake shoes off as well in order to be able to hammer on the bearing. and hoped that I could break it loose a little bit. It was a real struggle to try and get the spring off, and I ended up bending the spring in the end, but we're going to put new brakes on. But what was a problem was really getting this bearing off. WD-40 and hammered down, it turned a little bit, and then I used the breaker to push it out that last little bit. Thank God, finally.
How do you feel?
Oh, with my hand. So we've got it off. Brake fluid pissing everywhere, but that's fine. Just have to buy some more brake fluid. I watched on YouTube, he said this is really easy.
A day later.
It wasn't quite a day.
Pretty much.
It wasn't.
What time is it now? What time is it now?
9 PM. Started at 6 PM, 6 AM. This is what we notice on the brake cylinder here. So obviously, very perished, and that's the reason why we changed the brakes. I mean, for 70 quid, while you got the wheel off, you might as well, right? I did bend one of the springs, but look, I mean, it had that much left, and this is the new one. So I mean, it's sort of half left. I mean, you know, might as well 70 quid, right? And also, I bent one of the springs taking it off. So trying to bend that back would have been a nightmare. Spring kit was 20 quid. You couldn't buy the cylinders without buying the brakes. So, you know, you might as well just change the brakes while you're here, you know.
We are so close to having a functional car. One side. Well, hopefully the other one's going to be a piece of cake because, you know, Ryan's already practiced on this side.
Well done, darling. Looks very difficult and tricky. Yeah, because you have to do strength as well as keep it, have precision.
I don't think there's any strength involved. I think it's just more about, you know, trying to hold stuff, and it's about agility, I think. You need to be, try and be agile and patient. Very patient. As always with mechanics, I think.
Anyone needs a mechanic? Ryan's available. No, I'm only joking.
Yeah.
It's not.
I'm not available at all. Do not phone me. Phone someone who knows what they're doing. This is a How Not To channel.
But they're going to work, right?
What, the brakes?
Yeah, they're pretty important.
I hope so. I hope so. Otherwise, I wouldn't, you know, be wasting my time.
Done them before.
Yeah, I've done brakes before, yeah. But they're different. I'm different. Oh no, don't slip. They're different on different vehicles.
Hey.
Where's the other one?
Yep.
Yeah, but it's not
It's not major.
adjusting. Let me say one thing. Well, actually, two things. If you're expecting a how to do a wheel bearing, we're a how not to channel, not a how to. And the second thing
We're actually a travel channel.
and a how not to channel. However, the second thing is these wheel and this job, even though it's difficult, it's a hell of a lot easier to do than a van. You know, the wheel's lighter, the jack, I know, smaller, but it's easier to jack up. It's just, everything's better and easier than the van.
And the parts are not outrageously expensive like the van.
No,
Plus, you can even find information online on how to do things.
The wheel bearing, yeah, exactly. There's a video on YouTube that I looked at, so I found how to do this bearing easy enough. Anyway, there's also the wheel bearing was 52 quid. So, you know, £350 car, 52 quid there. We spent some money on some oil.
But we need to get the shoes.
We will total it up anyway before we sell it. And yeah, we need to get shoes both sides and possibly pads at the front as well. Well, we will need to get pads at the front. I'm hoping not discs as well. But if we do, we do, and they're not expensive. As you can see, I've got the all singing, all dancing, zipping, drilling thing here. The old zip, 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 zip. The old Formula 1 zip zips.
Yeah, very manual.
Yeah, very manual, but that's because, unfortunately, we don't have any tools here. Look, we'll go back to the 1960s with this as well. Look. See?
Faster,
Whizzing.
faster, faster.
Do you think I'm going to make the Formula 1 team? Formula 1, our email's in our description.
Ryan wants to come and work for you.
What do they do it in like 3 seconds now?
Look how fast he is. Oh, baby, I think they're going to contact you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When we were looking at different cars, there was most of them had rust that was affecting the structure of the car.
Yeah, but we were looking on the coast, so...
Well, yeah, we were looking in the coast, near the coast, but, you know, it was pretty much every single one that we looked at corroded and then affecting the structure of the...
inland a bit.
So we stayed a little bit local to where we are, which is mainland. Or not mainland, but it's a little bit further from the coast. This was a great little bargain that we found.
Topping up the brake fluid. Let's give the brakes a little bleed. These pads were almost new, but they needed new discs, definitely. Well, that's the first side done. Really easy, right? Well, made to look easy with obviously the time lapse, but yeah, it was actually quite easy to do the front brakes because none of the bolts were welded or rusted on at all. Look at this car moving a bit when I'm tightening up the bolts. Yes, the handbrake was on, however, it's just such a little car and forcing it with all my strength to tighten up the bolts, it really did move the car. Now onto the driver's side. Here's my Formula 1 CV going again. The speed of getting this jack up, or maybe I sped up the footage a little bit. The discs were really bad on this side, but it turns out that there's a clip missing in one of the pad holders, so this is why it's worn the disc on this side more, and that's what the squeaking was, I think. Obviously, once the discs are replaced, the pads are put back on. I had to order some clips online. Anyone who's ever done brakes will feel my pain here. Obviously the struggle of getting some of these bolts off the initial first turn is always difficult, but once they're off, right? It was really difficult to push the piston back in on these. I ended up having to get a G-clamp to push it back. The G-clamp was a little bit small, but just about made it over and helped it with a little bit of pushing with the hammer as well.
I'm gonna put myself in this video.
It's all right, I'm editing it anyway, so.
We found something special. Look, 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 look. Ryan was over the moon.
Yeah. Well, I was looking online and these wheel hubs, these hubcaps, these hubcaps are £22.50 online. And I went to Halfords and they got them on hard price sale, £9.50. Ah! For a £350 car.
Well, we say £350, but we spent about 300 already, so it's about 650.
No, it's still a £350 car. £350 car that needed money spending on it. Oh, look at that. Oi.
Bit of a difference.
Scratch them.
Oh, Ryan.
So I bought some petrol treatment here. So hopefully this might clean it out. Basically, just go like that. Oink. Glog, glog, glog. You're supposed to put it in and then put the petrol on top, but I don't suppose it really matters. I mean, as long as you're not putting water in there, right? Hopefully it's, the right stuff and it hasn't been filled up with water before we bought it. Anyway.
Let's do it the other way around.
Anyway, it was £3, so, thought might as well. You never know. I mean, it wasn't running lumpy anyway. These are bulletproof engines in these things. But, it's not going to hurt it, is it? We've had a faithful friend come and visit us. I'll show you what I mean. So after filling up with the petrol cleaner thing, look what's come up. If you made it this far, you are 1 in 4 people based on our analytics. Please, please, please subscribe. We're trying to make it to 1,000 subscriptions. Thank you so much, and please comment, I made it. The engine light. Oh, what the hell? What next? I don't know. Now we're on our way to our next sit, and it's an hour's journey. Anyway, thought it was the worst bearing we changed. It seems like it's just as bad. So obviously we've got to get on and change the other bearing. Should have probably changed them both at once, but we hoped we could have got away with not spending another 55 quid and just doing the one. But clearly,
No chance.
it needs both.
It sounds like,
Just as bad.
yeah, it sounds really bad.
Just as bad as it did.
Well,
We bought it.
I suppose, yes, but I think we feel a bit more comfortable.
Knowing the one's done.
Knowing that one's done, yes.
Yeah,
We
it's
changed.
on your side.
Yeah, we changed the left, so now it's the
A
right.
smooth run for Jenny, but the driver goes going down the road. But at least we're getting there and we're not getting these overpriced UK trains.
Well, yeah, it was quite economical. It's very economical.
We made it. We made it to Worcestershire. No, but I knew she'd correct me. But you know what I mean, right? Because it's called Launceston, right? And it's hard to pronounce, like Worcestershire. Worcestershire. It's hard to pronounce like that, right? But it's apparently, I think the way to say it is Launceston. So it's like, but it's spelled Launceston. Anyway, see you tomorrow.